The Iowa women's basketball team defeating Northwestern by a final count of 67-58 on this Monday afternoon in early January. Ugly, ugly, ugly. If you are looking for a post-game show that is simply going to rain confetti and flowers on an Iowa women's basketball victory, you've come to the wrong spot. We are honest. We are objective. That was ugly. That's a really bad Northwestern Wildcat team, a team that was 0-3 in the conference. They have a really good player inside in Grace Sullivan, but the team as a whole is horrible. That's what the stats say. That's what the resume says. And the Hawkeyes went to Evanston and kind of just slopped it up and backed their way into a victory. A victory is a victory. It will not affect them badly on an NCAA tournament resume. Of course, it doesn't help them immensely either. This is a victory. I believe, are they quad 4? I should have grabbed it before I hit the live button, but on the road, maybe they're quad 3, but they're no better. And the Hawkeyes finding a way, 67-58, in spite of 19 turnovers. 19 turnovers. I'm sorry. Check that. 20 turnovers. I missed the one at the end. 20 turnovers on the road against Northwestern. Wow. We're gonna get Cash Money Alexander here, former Hawkeye women's basketball guard, Kachine Alexander here in just a moment. She's gonna have to bring me back down to earth because I am nothing but perturbed and disturbed. Perturbed and disturbed at how badly Iowa played today. And if it wasn't for Ava Heiden, the Hawkeyes are losing this game. Caller, we're putting you on hold. If you don't want to lose your place in line, don't hang up. Okay, please don't hang up because you're going to lose your place in line. I'm just warning you. Barbara says, yes, it was very ugly. She's one of our premium members. She's on our Discord as well. Nobody's going to argue with you. And if you want to argue it, you sure can. And you can say win's a win. Every Big Ten victory is good. The Big Ten Women's League is totally different right now than the men's league. Like, the bottom of the women's league is bad. The bottom of the men's league is, I would say, like, not bad. They're not good, but man, the bottom of this league, like Rutgers and Northwestern, some of these teams at the bottom are really bad numbers wise. Bottom of the Big Ten on the men's side, I think you're going to be mostly competitive basically every night. But this was strange. Yeah, I did not expect this type of a performance. And I'm not saying it really means anything moving forward other than, like, they got to figure out how to play better. Ava Heiden is our RTI Threads player of the game tonight. 23 points, 9 of 11, 5 of 6. She was really good when she was on the floor. The problem was she wasn't on the floor enough. 4 fouls. And so you look at the numbers efficiency-wise. When she was on the floor, she was really, really good. She played 18 minutes. 18! This is not Audie Crooks. This is Ava Heiden. 18 minutes. 23 points. And by the way, 5 that went 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Phenomenal numbers when she's playing. She, again, can't stay out of foul trouble. Look, she's only a sophomore. She's got more room to grow. I asked Ava at our recent press conference following the game against Penn State, hey, what's this been like? And by the way, Penn State's really bad too. Iowa's played a miserably bad start to the Big Ten Conference schedule. But I asked Ava Heiden, what's it been like trying to work with the coaching staff on correcting fouls, the foul issues? And she's been like, hey, it's been a struggle. It's been work. It's about staying vertical, but so many of her fouls are those dumb reach-in variety. And, again, if she doesn't play, they don't win tonight. I mean, she scores 23. They're only 9 points better than what I think to be the worst team in the league. I mean, I don't know who else is worse right now. Penn State's really bad. Rutgers is really bad. We saw that right now, just from wins-loss perspective in the league, the three worst teams are Penn State, Rutgers, Purdue, Indiana, Northwestern. All those teams are winless. Iowa's already faced 3 of those 5. So they've not yet played Indiana, Purdue. The bottom of the Big Ten in the women's basketball league is it's just horrible. I mean, it really, truly is. And then basically after you get past those 5 teams, and I don't think Indiana's all that bad. They're 0-4. I think they'll end up being a little bit better than that. The other teams I think are all bad. But once you get past like those bottom 4, Northwestern, Purdue, Rutgers, Penn State, the rest of the league is pretty good. And then you have some really good teams at the top. UCLA's really good. Maryland's really good. I think Ohio State's pretty good. Michigan's really good. But boy, the bottom 4 are bad. And look, the bottom line is Iowa avoided a total disaster tonight in winning. And I don't know the last time I said, an Iowa team goes on the road in the Big Ten and avoids a total disaster. Like normally you play on the road in this league and you win, you're in good shape and it's reason to celebrate. But the bottom of the league just isn't good. It's really, really bad. So Hawkeyes avoiding disaster tonight. Ava Heiden to thank for that. 23 points, 9 of 11 from the field, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Also contributed 5 rebounds, but her 4 fouls cost the Hawkeyes. As far as playing time, she played under 20 minutes tonight, in spite of scoring Iowa's first 12 points in this game. You see the stats across the bottom of your screen. Hannah Stuelke, rough night from the field. 2 of 11 from the field, 4 of 8 from the line. She's coming off her performance against Penn State where she went 7 of 7 from the line. 7 of 7. Excuse me, not against Penn State. Who'd they play the other day? Was it Penn State? Now my mind's breaking down already. Nebraska. 7 of 7 from the line against Nebraska, and yet she goes 4 of 8 tonight. Chit-Chat Wright struggled, especially early. 12 points for Chit-Chat. She was 7 of 8 from the foul line, which you like. 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 turnovers. Taylor Strimlow hit a big shot late. 7 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 turnovers. We're including the turnover numbers because that was a story with everybody but Ava Heiden, who finished with just 2 turnovers. Basically, everybody that contributed offensively turned the ball over. Strimlow, 4 turnovers. Chit-Chat Wright, 5 turnovers. Stuelke, 3 turnovers. Addie Deal plays 13 minutes, turns the ball over twice. And again, just so balanced in turnovers. It's not something you want to highlight, but when you're playing a team in the league that does not turn teams over very much, Northwestern's one of the worst teams in the league in both defense and offense. If you want to look at these teams from a stats comparison perspective, I was doing this during the game. Northwestern in total offense right now, out of 18 teams in the league, they are the 17th best offense, only in front of Rutgers, who Iowa routed earlier this year. They're one of just 3 teams in the league averaging less than 70 points on the season. And you look at opponents' points per game, in other words, total defense, and Northwestern is, where are they on this stat? So they are the 2nd worst total defense in the league, behind only Penn State, who Iowa played on Sunday. So that's where we are. The Hawkeyes avoided disaster, and I'm waiting. Let's see if we can get our first caller in here, because I know the calls are piling up. The chats are piling up. Kachine is on her way here. But we'll go ahead and take our first caller. Thank you for calling Iowa Postgame with Kachine Alexander. Who's on the line?
Hey, is this me?
We got you.
Oh, awesome. Hi, my name's Brian. I'm from Minneapolis.
Hi, Brian.
My observation tonight is that for some strange reason, I'm just so happy and proud for Taylor McCabe, because she has gone from a shooter to an actual basketball player, and that development makes me happy in a way I don't know how to explain.
Well, I'll tell you what, she's been struggling from 3. And so to your point,
That's fine. That's fine, because she gives you other things. She gives you rebounds. She gives you blocks and steals. She's a basketball player now. She's not just a shooter.
Yep, I agree with that. They do need her to make threes, though. I mean, that's what she's going to give you offensively. That's her job, right? So she's going to have to figure out how to make. Look, I'm not pushing the panic button on Taylor McCabe, but her last five performances: 3 of 8, 3 of 7, 1 of 2, 1 of 9, 2 of 5, and then tonight she was let's see, it's number 6, 2 of 7. She's got to get that figured out. Now, shooters can be streaky at times, but no, to your point, she had a really good block in transition. She's a much better defender than she was 2 years ago. And yes, she does rebound the basketball. As I mentioned earlier, her stat line: 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 8 points, 2 of 3 from the line. Also had 2 blocks, which, 36 minutes. She actually led the team in minutes tonight, interestingly enough. That may be a first for her.
And again, the thing is, if she's not shooting, she's still giving you things that benefit the team, right?
Sure. No, and her leadership, I think her senior veteran presence is going to help them down the stretch. And I do believe, like, she's going to start making shots. I mean, it was nice to see her hit that little step back 3 today, or sidestep 3. That was good to see. And shooters sometimes get streaky. And if she's not producing on the glass, if she's not defending well, it's hard to, like, she would be a huge point of controversy. Like, I don't think anybody's going to come on the show tonight and make her some polarizing figure. So that's to your point. Like, she's not shooting the 3 well. They need her to shoot the 3 well. But in the meantime, she's giving you enough that she deserves. I don't have any problem with her playing 36 minutes tonight. And I would never have said that 2 years ago if she shot 2 of 7 from 3.
There you go. That was my point as well. The other comment I want to make, and I don't want to rehash the UConn game, but I was there at Barclays and watched it.
Okay.
The 2 points I want to make is that before Kylie got hurt, she was definitely the floor general. And there were a couple moments when, like, Iowa inbounded with 9 seconds to go, and Jan was yelling to Kylie, and Kylie was setting everything up. And so I think fans should know that aside from the stat sheet, Kylie is very important to this team, and she's kind of the floor general when she's out there. So with her not being there, it's been a process. The other thing I noticed was that Addie Deal was very vocal, was very communicative, and did a lot of things that you expect a 5-star player to do. And that I think basically her floor is she's always going to be a solid player. I don't know if she's going to be great or not, but she did the things that you would expect a 5-star player to do. And that's what I saw.
Yep. She's 4 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Yeah, she's a role player right now. I mean, that's what we can say about Addie Deal. And she seems to be comfortable with that. I mean, I'm sure she's fighting in practice to deserve more minutes, but she's improving. I mean, I think it's been a slow and steady improvement. All you can ask is that she comes in, doesn't turn the ball over, spells you some minutes at the point, maybe makes a 3 here or there, and that's basically what she's doing.
Oh, she'll only get better.
Sure,
she'll only get better.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
That's absolute. Like she'll have games where she'll just take over, and everyone will be like, "Oh, I get it now," and then maybe she won't, but she'll do that.
Agree with that. So, anything else, sir?
It's nice to speak with you. I'll let other callers call in, but take care.
Okay, sir. You going to the Iowa Minnesota men's game tomorrow?
Oh my God. You know what? I'm the guy who made the Minute shirts comment and made everything go nuts. And in retrospect, I wish I had said Lucy Olson instead of Caitlin Clark. and maybe none of that would have happened. But to your point, I'm not going to the game, but I'm very interested in what Iowa will do. And I feel like Minnesota has sort of given up on the season, and we'll see tomorrow.
Sounds good, sir. If you have a late inkling, get over to the barn.
I'll be dressed up like a cow.
There you go. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the call.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Yeah, I actually like the barn. It's an old venue. I've been there once. Was going to go up tomorrow. Had something come up, so will not be at the barn. But yeah, it will be nice to see the men go on the road and have a chance to win away from home, which they have not yet done. So, Jason Wright in the chat. Ava has to stay out of foul trouble. She hasn't figured that out yet.
This message is being transcribed. One moment while I notify the caller.
Okay. I guess we're going to our next caller. Thank you for calling Iowa Postgame with Kachine Alexander, who's on the line.
Hello.
Hello, you're on the air. I can hear myself.
Kelsey submitted to the point.
You want to?
Can you hear yourself?
Yeah, you want to turn it down just a little bit. I would appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, I do it every time.
I know you do. Hey, you're here, though. That's the important thing.
Right. Yeah, this is John from North Kachine, Carolina.
Hey, John.
Just wanted to get it. I know you guys had said something about my phone saying it's recording or something every time you had. Did it do it this time?
I sure did. We're being transcribed. I'm comfortable with that.
Man, I have no clue how to turn that off on this phone. I've been going over it, and I can't find anything to deal with.
Hey, we're being transcribed everywhere, so that's all right.
All right. I ain't doing it on purpose is all I want you to know.
Oh, you're good.
All right. Yeah, we got to win.
They sure did. They got to win. That's
Hannah, you know, she has a hard time with a decent big that's got long arms. She rushes up them bunnies and misses them damn near every time.
2 of 11 tonight. Yeah, she's got to finish around the rim, and that's 2 of 11 where she's not taking she's not taking jump shots. We all know that, right? She's not taking shots from the outside. 2 of 11, and basically all of those 11 shots are from the inside. And her final free throw count was 4 of 8. So the 9 misses don't count the shots where she was fouled. So yeah, I mean, they didn't get in transition, so that doesn't help her. And then you know, you think maybe when Ava and Layla both get in foul trouble early, that's going to give Hannah an opportunity to get fortunate on the offensive end, and it just didn't happen tonight.
Right, you know, but there was flash. I mean, she shows better footwork. She did some nifty moves and got right there under the basket and just couldn't make the shots.
Yeah. There were a couple of times where I was pleased to see her at least reverse pivot and try something different, go from a different angle. I get tired of seeing her kind of just bulldoze her way in there and lower the shoulder and try to throw it off the glass over and over again. Seems sort of one-dimensional to me. But yeah, there were a couple of times where I saw her at least try to get herself to the basket and in different ways, different varieties. And yeah, she's got to finish around the rim. So unfortunately,
wouldn't have been close if she'd hit, you know, half of her shots. It wouldn't even have been a close game, I don't think.
Sure. Yeah, they missed a lot of shots around the rim, and it wasn't just her, but yeah, they in general, they missed a lot around the rim.
Yep. Addie looked good a couple times.
Addie, yeah, I mean, yeah, she had.
She's not a superstar, but she's starting. I think she's starting to get it.
Yeah, 4 points. I mean, 4 points, 2 of 4. You know, she's not forced anything. I'll give her that. She's not forced anything. 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turns, 13 minutes. So, you know, it was good to see. I'll say this. Let's talk about a player who doesn't play a whole lot. Callie Levine gave them good minutes on the defensive end tonight. So that was nice. Well, she's
been doing that, the last 4 or 5 games?
Yeah, as long as Kylie's out, she's going to play.
Yeah. She runs it, and she takes shots when she's open. She passes the ball. She seems to run good defense, too. So, I mean, she's a really good fill-in. It's kind of nice to see her. We never knew what we had with her, really. I don't know what was holding her back the most, but she's not going to be, she's not going to be all Big Ten, but she can be an important piece on this team.
Yeah, and her development is going to be interesting in the rest of Big Ten play because she's going to learn a lot just about the physicality of this league and how to hopefully finish in spite of contact. And, as long as Kylie's out, those are extra minutes to be had at the guard position. And right now, she's not earned all those minutes because Callie Levine wouldn't be playing, but she can learn from Callie on defense. She can learn from Kylie Feuerbach as she's sitting on the bench with her. And, she's got the skill set. It's just a matter of putting it together and figuring out speed of the game. I think that's one of the big changes for her. The biggest changes for her, high school to college, is the speed of the game. So she's getting there. She's figuring out.
I was watching next year's pick, Wilichko, the other day. She won her first game back.
Yeah.
Pretty dominating fashion.
Fresh off surgery and rehab. Yeah. Good to see her back on the court.
Yeah, she did good. She's got some great moves, and she can actually shoot a jump shot. And we'll have a legit 4. I just hope she can handle the speed when she comes in a little bit better.
That's the adjustment, and that's honestly like McKenna's. I'm not saying that she's not a better prospect than Tegan Melany was, but Melany's a great example of that. Like, the speed of the game is so far from Tegan Melany right now. With all due respect to Tegan Melany, I got nothing against her personally. I think she's a very nice young lady. The conversations I've had with her, but like Tegan Melany played a little bit tonight and looked just completely in over her head. And I think a big part of that is speed of the game. Passing lanes are tighter, they close quicker, and size is a big difference as well. But this is Northwestern. This is not, this is not the Michigan. This is not the Ohio State or the Marylands of the Big Ten. So, yeah, we were able to see at least someone like Addie come in, hold her own, whereas someone like Tegan is unfortunately still not there with speed of play, and that's going to be the learning curve for anybody, including these 5 stars that the Hawks have gotten here of late.
Right, and you can tell Melany and Addie every once in a while still, you get up against these teams where they only have 1 or 2 players that probably knows exactly what they're trying to run when they're on offense or on defense, and Iowa isn't expected to be places because, well, they shouldn't be in the defense are running. But they really struggle against them teams that are really unconventional in how they're doing things.
Absolutely. Yep. 100%.
I know I played football in high school, and it was the same way. You get up against a team that everybody's doing their own thing, and you're not used to being coached how to defend against all that. You're being coached for what people should be running, but they don't. So it's hard. I understand it's hard, but the best thing about all these hard, sloppy-looking games is that we seem to win most of them.
Yeah, I don't think there's many teams in the league they would have beat tonight, honestly, with how they played, just with the turnovers.
Oh, yeah, they wouldn't have.
A lot of, and Kachine, once she's having some internet issues. I just got a text from her, so if people are wondering why Kachine Alexander's not here yet, she's having some network issues, so we'll try to get her in here as quickly as possible. But I'll be interested to get this perspective from Kachine, because to me, it appeared tonight that there were just you always hear Ben McCollum on the men's side talk about getting into that second action. It appeared that Iowa was getting into their second action, but they just were missing. I saw Taylor McCabe was missed. People were just missing her. She's coming off screens, getting looks at threes, and they're just missing her and kind of dribbling into areas where there's nothing there. Addie Deal does that. Addie Deal looks a little bit like Brock Harding when he first got to Iowa, kind of dribbling into a spot where there's really nothing there other than going up through a bigger, more athletic defender where you're either going to get blocked or you're going to miss. And, that's the learning curve. You would just not expect that out of your older players like Hannah Stuelke, unfortunately. And it doesn't help. When you have foul trouble at your 5s, that doesn't help.
She's the same way. She gets that ball tossed into her, and most times she don't want nothing to do with it. She's looking for someone to kick it right back out to. And Addie had I guess Layla a couple times on one play. I thought Layla had got behind the defense and was moving towards the basket, and Addie had the ball out there on the whatever they call it, wing, I guess, and I thought she looked at her, and then she ended up throwing it back outside, and all she had to do was lob it over the top, and we would have had an easy 2.
Yeah, there definitely missed assist opportunities tonight, and Iowa finished on the night with 16 assists to 20 turnovers. Right. That will keep Jan Jensen up at night to have a negative there in assist to turnover ratio.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure when they watch that film, they see all the missed opportunities they let get by.
They will see plenty. Yeah, be a long trip back. It's a short trip back in reality, but a long trip back on the film room. Evanston to Iowa City.
Yeah, because you ain't going to win very many games being like that. You got to when you get chances and you got something coming open, you got to be able to hit it.
Absolutely, sir. Anything else?
Hadn't called for a couple. I hadn't watched any of the games. Didn't feel like I should get on there and say anything. So I just now got to watch another game. So I figured I'd give my 2 cents worth.
Well, we appreciate you being here, and we'll try to get Kachine on here for your next call.
All right, sounds good. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. Thank you, sir. All right, and I think Kachine's trying to get in here. It looks like we had her just for a second, and now we get her back. We'll see if we can get her on. Kachine Snuggie Alexander.
Hello, mate.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, living the dream.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, I am currently on a hotspot, so bear with me. I don't know if it's going to work for long, but we're here.
I've called out enough internet companies here in Iowa. I won't ask about yours, but we're happy you're here nonetheless.
Yeah.
So,
what I miss?
Well, what'd you miss? We got a couple of callers in here that wanted to compliment Addie Deal. There were some positive comments about Addie Deal. Yeah. Some frustrated people about Hannah Stuelke and her lack of ability to finish around the rim. You see the stats scrolling across the bottom of your screen, Kachine. 2 of 11 from the field for Hannah Stuelke. And if it wasn't for Ava Heiden with her 23, they don't win. The crazy part about her 23 points, Kachine, is she did it in 18 minutes because she had 4 fouls. Just a strange game. And I hate to come on here and a win, especially a conference win, and complain because I'll get ripped for it. But, man, this was ugly every way you slice it. They won by single digits against maybe the worst team in an 18-team league.
Here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This happens. The Big Ten, it happens, man. Like, as much as you want to call it, it happens. It's an ugly, grind-out game that you should have won by 20, 30 plus. You know what I'm saying? On their home courts, an away game. I'm sure there was a little bit more fire because they had Tangela Smith on their staff. Like, I'm sure there was a little bit, there. But, like, I've been a part of them, so I'm aware of them. Like, where it's like, oh, Jesus, it's just like you couldn't get going for whatever reason. I'm just happy we came out with a win. I'll take it. Just burn the tape. Let's just move on.
Well, are you saying there's no real concern from this? You think it's just a one-off?
It happens. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you.
Does it happen to good teams?
Yes.
It happens to good teams.
No, yes, it does.
All right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just asking.
Tegan was playing. There were games where we were like, Jesus, what is going on? Where like we won, you know what I'm saying? And we would come on here and say, oh, that was ugly. Yes, because there's just games that you win ugly. It is what it is. Now it's better to win an ugly one than lose an ugly one, So
I will say, I'm not saying you're wrong, but there's a difference between winning ugly against an average to good team and winning ugly against a horrendously bad team. By the numbers, Northwestern is horrendously bad. Like they're going to be lucky to win 4 games in this league this year. So that's my next question. Is it okay? Is it normal for a team that's trying to be, upper third of your league to struggle this much against a team that may be worse in the league? Is that okay? Is that normal, you think?
It happens.
Okay. All right. You're just going to keep telling me it happens.
I only say that because, basketball is that's why we love the game, right? Northwestern could be on and we're off. It's one game. Anybody can beat anybody in one game. it just is what it is. So I just feel like that's how you get these crazy upsets where it's like people should not even be in the same gym as some of these teams. But at the end of the day, I felt like there were a few people who were a little lackadaisical. Now that could also be fatigue, because you've got players that are playing more minutes now because of all the injuries we have, right? And I've said this before, and I'm going to continue saying it. Chit-Chat just played 39 minutes, guarding that team's best player. I know she's tired. Like, okay, cool. Now you've got Journey. I love Journey, by the way. Journey, she was exhausted in that game. Rightfully so. But she was tired. I could see it. So I was like, well, you had to hold on, girl. You got to hold on because we ain't got no other people right now in the second quarter. But it's just one of those things that I will say I don't like her offense right now. But I also have to understand that we don't have many options. So yes, that's my juggle. It's when we said like, oh, I'm surprised we won it without Kylie in our last games, right? Like I thought it wouldn't be I thought it'd be a lot closer in that scenario. But we got to get healthy, man. We're going to lose one.
So you're attributing some of this to the lack of depth because of Emily Rodriguez and Kylie Feuerbach being out? Or is this more so?
You also, with them being out, it's not even just games. You're also taking more reps in practice.
Okay.
Because you don't have that many people taking reps. So not only are you handling the forefront in the game, but you're also doing it in practice because you have to
lessen. Don't you have to lessen the load a little bit?
Yes, that's a very tricky. I will say that's a very tricky thing to do as a coach because you don't want to get them out of shape, but you also need them to rest. But you also need to work on your stuff, and you also have to work on who you're playing, the scout. It's a very tough place to be. I will say that. It's a very tough place to be as a coach because you have to take a gamble as far as like priority-wise. What are we going to work on today? What's the priority today? Because you may not be able to get in what you normally get in. But then at the same point in time, you're going to start seeing that in games because you're not working on it because you have to prioritize where you go. That's why injuries are so difficult. It's not just the games, practice as well. Coaches can't do what they want to do in practice. They just can't. They don't have everything they need in that aspect. And then you've got Callie Levine is doing what Callie Levine does. She's doing her best. Tegan Melany we'll throw in there what we can get to. But that means now that Callie Levine and Tegan Melany are getting more reps in practice when you're not really playing them in the game. So that doesn't fit with your cohesiveness.
I will say this. This is going to sound mean, but I'm just going to call a spade a spade. There is such a big difference right now with what Tegan Melany's giving you versus what Callie Levine's giving you when she's in. Like,
I can agree.
Like when we're going to put our next caller here on hold for just a minute, but when Callie Levine's on the floor, I don't fear for anything bad to happen. Like I don't see her turning the ball over, getting blown by. And honestly, right now, I feel the total opposite with Tegan Melany. I'm like, what is she going to do this
turnover waiting to happen? The only thing that I know is going to happen with Kylie Levine is she's going to do an over-aggressive foul or something.
Sure.
I can live with that.
I can live with that too. Yeah, exactly.
I can live with that. But yeah, like I think in our Discord chat, I don't remember who said it, but I could not have said it better myself because exactly what I was thinking is, and I know in the chats in previous games, people were talking about, oh, we need Taylor Stremlow to start in front of Kylie. This is why you don't. Because you need a spark off the bench. You need a person that's going to come in that's going to be able to change the tempo of the game. Kylie's not going to change the tempo. She's going to do what she does, right? Best. But Taylor Stremlow has the ability to change the tempo, push the tempo, give you a different look. She's starting right now. Who is your game changer off the bench? We don't have one.
Journey. It's Journey.
And she doesn't have the ball in her hands. So she's got to be able to make stuff happen.
And it's not Addie right now as much as people want to.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So that's when we talk about injuries in general, this is what it trickles down to. It trickles down to not only your availability, it trickles down to your practice schedules. It trickles down to everything under the sun of your program, which is why we need them back. Because I like Stremel off the bench. I love it. I think she works better personally right now. I mean, I'm sure she will get to a point where she'll be fine. But I feel like Stremel works better that way. It gives her a chance to see the game, feel the game before actually having to do something. So, and some people work better like that. I'm not nervous though. Let me make sure I say that. I'm not alarmed. I'm not anything of that sort. No, at least not right now. Because again, I know these types of games happen. I've been a part of them. Or even myself, I could not get myself going. Like it just not the cards for me that day. So I just feel like for us, Hannah's gonna be Hannah, guys. Stop. I mean, she's what she is. Like, I don't even know why we're even upset about it anymore. Like, she's gonna be what she is. I just feel like we have to try to get the best out of her that we can get. Just don't expect anything else. Okay. Ava, I don't know what they need to do. I haven't quite figured it out yet. And maybe it's just going to come with maturity. But she has got to stop fouling. Like, if there's anything that needs to be emphasized, is like somebody got to go talk to her. Bring her in the office, something. Because you are not a freshman anymore. Heck, you're not even a sophomore anymore. You are a veteran of this team, which is unfair to you. I'm just going to put that out there because you didn't really play last year. But that's just what you're in now. We cannot afford for you to do that. We just can't. I wish we get more out of Layla. I feel like she was better off at the beginning of the season. I don't know what the heck happened. Something. I'll need something out of her. Oh, I need something out of her. If we could get something out of Layla, I would be very happy. But she's also a fouler. So it's like, I don't know. It's just gonna be that year. In that sense with our two post players. But I'm not worried.
I want to acknowledge Cub Hawk 1237 here in the chat because he says something that I sort of agree with. He says, we're now a year and a half into Jan being head coach. We have a major turnover problem. We make terrible passes most of the time trying to force it into post. I mean, look, and I see some comments in the chat. I guess it's probably talked about on the Hawkeye Radio Network tonight that apparently Chit Chat's dealing with an illness, and maybe there are other players dealing with illnesses. I know Cam Manuel on the women's side.
That tracks because she looked dead.
Side. Okay, well.
That tracks. Okay.
All right. Well, Cam Manuel on the men's side also dealing with an illness. However, the turnover issues are not exclusive to tonight. My question to you, 20 turnovers tonight, like they turn the ball over against anybody and everybody, Kachine.
Oh, yes.
And I was always taught good teams don't turn the ball over.
Agreed.
So why are we a year and
great teams don't turn the ball over?
Okay, well, let's answer the question here from Cub Hawk. I guess it wasn't really a question, but I'll make it into a question. Why, a year and a half into Jan Jensen's tenure as head coach, are turnovers such an issue?
I wish I could tell you that because I don't know what they're doing in practice. Like, that would be my thing, is I need to see practice. Because practice tells you everything you need to know about what's happening, why it's happening, etc. Because your habits in practice is what carries over into games. Now, I do know that there are times when people just turn the ball over for whatever reason in the games, but it has become a pattern for us.
Yes. So
that needs to be addressed if it hasn't already.
How could it not have been?
Well, you'd be surprised. Some people don't care about turnovers like that.
Well, honestly, it appears to me that they don't care too much about turnovers. I mean, this is just I'm just watching this from the outside, and I may be maybe they have mastered like disguising body language, but I don't see this. Like it's kind of like, go back to 2021. I remember Don Patterson talking about, actually it's 2020 when Spencer Petras first took over as quarterback at Iowa. And I'm going to rip on Spencer for a second, not as a person, but as a trade at quarterback. You know, he'd throw an interception or he'd throw a bad pass, and he'd kind of get up and he'd go, clap, darn it, I'll get him next time. You know, it's almost like, I know Don said he didn't like that because it was almost just like this sign that you're not upset enough about it. It's kind of like that attitude of, we'll get him next time. And I don't even see that from the women. Again, maybe they've mastered body language, but I just see a lot of turnovers, and they just kind of, okay, next play. And in a sense, you want them to flush it and move on to the next play, but I don't know.
There's a difference between flushing it and not caring.
Well, and maybe they do. I'm not saying they don't care. I'm just saying what I'm seeing. I'm like, do they? Is it really a concern? Like you just said, some teams don't care.
I don't feel like it is. And I mean that because there's a few things, right? I've been a part of teams where we had some turnover issues. The key to fixing a turnover issue is making it so that your team understands the value of the basketball. And that's possession by possession. Sometimes when you have a turnover-prone team, they're thinking about the game in its entirety. Like, oh, it's fine. It's just first quarter. Oh, it's the second quarter. Not understanding that each one of those possessions that they just let go is a possession that can bite them in the butt at the end of the game. Understanding the value of each possession.
Right.
I remember vividly. I'll never forget it. That's how ingrained it is in my head. It was Lisa Bluter. We had a little stretch where we just turned the ball over left and right. And I remember, like it was yesterday, we came in the gym, and Coach Bluter had 2 racks. Okay? 2 racks of basketballs. And she said, we have 2 racks of basketballs for the entire 3-hour practice. We said, what do you mean? And she said, once the ball is turned over, it's gone. You're never getting it back. Like a possession. Once it's gone, it's gone. And whenever we ran out of balls, we were running. Do you understand what that practice looked like? It was like people were pissed off of people throwing balls away. It was like a whole thing. Now, we kept that for a while throughout practice. And then it became a situation where it was like drill-based, where specific drill, we only had this amount of balls that we had in our possession. It ingrained in us that each basketball is so valuable that we have the opportunity to have, just like a possession. So that kind of, I don't want to say retrained us a little bit in regards to taking care of the basketball, but that was our team. Every team is different. For us, that's what motivated us. But yeah, you have to get them to value basketball. If they don't value the basketball, it doesn't matter. They're going to turn it over every chance they get. I mean, a lot of our turnovers are literally we're throwing it to the other team.
Right. I mean,
it's not even like.
I know it's going to sound like I'm beating up on Tegan Melany. I'm not trying, but that was one of the most unbelievable turnovers I've seen from a Division I athlete. And you know the play I'm talking about. I mean, she just throws it right into. I mean, that's like a quarterback throwing to a cornerback that's completely cheating up from the snap. Like, you know, you pump on them and you double and you go. Like, yeah, I'm with you. And Taylor Strimlow, a couple of hers were just totally unforced.
She reminds me. Please, when I say this, I am not talking about athleticism. I'm not even talking about game-wise. I'm talking about attitude, right, and aura. Taylor Strimlow reminds me of Malaysia Fawali. Like, she has fantastic plays, right? Like, plays where we're like, whoa! And then there's, like, this lackadaisicalness that's like, what the? Just lost the ball. Or, like, it's like, what are you doing? Like, How do you have this amazing play, and then on the other end, it's like, is that the same person? They remind me the same. I don't know why, but in regards to their lackadaisicalness, it drives a coach crazy. I know that much. I don't get that about her. Like, does she just mentally relax? That's the only thing I can think of. She just mentally takes a break. And if you mentally take a break and you're not locked in, you're going to turn the ball over. That's a fact.
By the way, to Diener 1956, he says, "Do you realize that they have the flu bug going around this team?" So
sure.
Does everybody have the flu? Does everybody have the flu? Because I didn't see anybody besides maybe Ava when she was on the floor. I didn't really see.
What's her face did not look herself. Chit Chat did not look herself.
Chit Chat did not look right. I agree with you 100%.
No, she didn't look right at all.
No, I agree with you. But I mean, no one else. Who else would you say played well tonight? Was there anybody that you would think that, like, particular? Like, I thought Journey Houston was good.
I thought she played well. I thought she gave us some much needed buckets when we needed it and energy. But I also know that she got exhausted. That second quarter.
What's crazy is we're saying, like, Journey Houston played well, and her stat line, she was 2 of 6 from the field. But what you said is true, because she had 6 rebounds and no turnovers. That's playing well on a night like tonight. So in response to, like, I get it. People are dealing with the flu, but I don't want to hear this stuff about everybody dealing with the flu. If everybody's dealing with the flu, this game would have never happened. So I'm sure that.
Well, not everybody now.
So yeah, I mean,
could be recovering from it. I mean, the flu lasts you about 3 to 5 days tops. But I feel like another piece about helping turnovers, besides the value of the basketball, is also making sure the right people have the ball in their hands. You got to. You got to make sure the right people have the ball in their hands in that aspect. We are a very young team. And I think people forget that at times. We're young, especially our ball handlers are young. So young is always turnover prone. That's a given. But at the same point in time, as the coaching staff, you got to be able to put people in the right position. If that means not letting them dribble the ball up against pressure, give her a release, give her a ball screen or something. Don't try to have them prove that they can handle it. Nah, we don't want to do that. We'll get to that when we get to it. But help them out. Instead, we have a lot of – here's the crazy part. Our offense is built on passing, which is insane to me. We don't drive to the basket. It's all passing. So I'm like, well, that's a problem. Because that's your whole offense. You're going to turn the ball over because you're young and everything else, but then your whole offense is passing. If we are not having a good game where we start and turn the ball over, we don't have another option. We don't have a ball screen motion offense or something. Like a dribble drive. We don't have something. So like I said, your main offense is great, but you got to have secondary and third. You have to. A different motion offense. Everybody has a ball screen motion offense, or at least you should. Because there are teams that just can't play ball screen defense. Use it. I'm a huge fan of ball screens, if you have not noticed. Because it's very hard to guard. As a defensive player, I hated guarding ball screens. It's hard. Well,
I watched Baylor, a team that Iowa beat.
What was the play they won the game on?
I know. I tweeted it out. I'm like,
ball screen with Addie Crooks.
Yeah. I'm like,
put her in a blender.
Put her, yeah. Yeah, and they beat them. Baylor went to Ames and beat Iowa State this week. So, hey, that helps Iowa's resume, beating Baylor.
It is. It does. Especially because Baylor beat Iowa State on Iowa State's court. That's good.
Exactly. Yeah, something Iowa fell short of doing. All right, we got a bunch of people who want to chat. We're going to try to get to everybody. Thank you for calling Iowa Postgame with Kachine Alexander. Who's on the line?
Hey, this is Tom in Des Moines. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good, Tom. How are you?
I'm good. Where does one start to dissect what we just witnessed? I mean, that's going to be a long bus ride home for Jan and company, looking at that videotape on the drive home. And I hope that Jan is more introspective as to what choices are being made that led to that performance, rather than, her typical post game, talks about what the players did wrong. And brother, that was systemic. So I don't know what was being done in practice, over the last week, but this is maybe 2 out of the last 3 games that are really, really quite ugly. And I don't have answers, but I'm gonna hit on something I've harped on before. As Kachine said, I don't know, 10 minutes ago, we don't have many options. Again, I'm just going to advocate. There's no reason to leave that 15th scholarship open. You're always going to have injuries, and the people who are advocating for more minutes for Callie Levine, I don't understand why she wasn't out there more. She brings some stability and incredible energy. But Cub Hawk, you put a post up from Cub Hawk earlier that I thought was pretty insightful. And I guess as I was watching the game, time after time after time, I'm saying to myself, just shoot. The team, I think, or the coaches still think they have the greatest women's basketball player in the history of the NCAA on the team to bail them out and to make those great shots. And they don't. And so when they've got the ball and it involves, turning 90 degrees and shooting, turn 90 degrees and shoot. And everyone else on the team should have hustle and go get the rebound when they miss, but at least get the ball up there. I mean, I feel last year, and I feel into this year, Jan was always in quest of the perfect lineup. And I feel like now they're in quest of, the perfect 4 or 5 passes to get, the perfect shot. And, like anyone who's been to war will say, execution of the good in the moment is better than the perfect execution of a plan when it's too late. Time and again, I'm just saying to myself, shoot, just shoot. You're 6 feet away. If you can't shoot from 6 feet away, I mean, what's happening? So, I mean, I think we've established that this is a team that's not selfish. No one's going to accuse you of being selfish, but you need to shoot. So I guess those are some of my thoughts. I mean, but I don't know where you begin to analyze, travels, palming, turnover, double dribbles. It looked like, a 2-year college team.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
I want to ask Kachine her perspective on that 15th scholarship, because, I mean, in general, they're not going to get that deep. But there are times where you're down a couple of players, and, like, I don't even know what the status on Kenise Johnson is. Jada Gyamfi is nowhere close. Part of me is like, well, if you can't get viable players for 13 and 14, what are you going to do with 15? But how would you respond to Tom's comment? I know he said this several times in the show, Kachine, when he's called in.
Before Kachine comes in, because I do care what Kachine thinks, I go back to our national championship games. And I don't know if you remember, but we were out of gas. And, what a difference in that last national championship game in particular. What a difference. Having just one more pair of legs when Molly Davis went down to come in and spell Caitlin. I mean, that first quarter in the last national championship game might be the greatest single-handed display of basketball skill by Caitlin Clark of anyone I've ever seen in the national championship game. But then she was spent. They were done. They had no one to come in. And, but anyway, I'm curious what Kachine says.
So I'm trying to figure out how ruthless I want to be. So ruthless or politically correct? Which one, Corey?
I always caution on the side of ruthless.
It's like living on the dangerous side.
Without vulgarities, of course, but
of course.
Objectivity is always good.
Okay, so here's the thing. On one side, you're never going to want a full roster of 15 for a few reasons. One, it does not allow you the option or ability to get transfers in high schools. So if you have a high school kid coming in, they already take a scholarship or 2 scholarships or whatever the case might be. And then you never want to put yourself in a situation where you don't have the opportunity to get a transfer that you want or that wants you. right? Like you always want to have that open scholarship of some sort, 1 to 2, roughly. That's one thing. However, if our 13 and 14 were better and they were not Kanice Johnson, Callie Levine, Jada Jimpy, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So that means you get rid of them and get better 13, 14, and 15s. And then you would have the legs that you so desire. Because technically speaking, you do have legs. You just don't like the legs. That's the difference.
Fair.
You don't like Jada Jimpy. You don't like the Callie Levines because they're not giving you anything.
Well, it's not us. It's not Tom or me not liking them.
No. I'm
Dan doesn't
saying,
have any faith in them because they don't play when they're thin. Like
that means you get rid of them. Happens all the time. So that's the nitty gritty of the business. At the end of the day, yes, you're 100% right. You need extra legs, especially if a Jada Jimpy was, or I know she's injured, or Callie Levine, Tegan Melany, hell, let's put her in there. Tegan Melany, Callie Levine were on the same playing field as a player that can come in like a journey. She's not giving you double digits every night. She's not. She's giving you rebounds and someone you can count on that's not going to turn the ball over. I'll take it. If Callie Levine could play defense like she was doing and hit an occasional 3, we could use that. But that's not the case. So now we're in a situation where you're wanting technically what you have, but just better. I hope that answered your question.
Tom, does that address what you're asking?
Well, it drove around my question. I'm not sure. I don't think she's in favor of having 15 people, and obviously
no, because it does put you in a situation. Only because, like I said, you never want to be in a situation where you have no scholarships, like that. You could miss out on an opportunity. Only reason why you always leave at least one available. The thing is that even with 14, you're not playing that many kids. You're not.
Right.
You're lucky if you play 10.
Yep.
Right. Like that's just not normal. So with that, you're roughly going to have 5 players sitting on the bench.
Now, here's the deal. Here's what I could say. I think there's an argument to be made, Cash, that if you've already signed Jada Jimpy, and I hate to call people out, but Jada Jimpy, Kanice Johnson, these players who are 13, 14 on the roster, I know that this day and age of college athletics is sort of ruthless, but if your motto is we're not kicking players to the curb, we're going to let them be cheerleaders, we're going to let them be leaders on the bench, then the argument could be made, maybe you need to utilize the 15th scholarship until those players graduate and move on. Is that fair? Because, yes, you need to get better players at spot 13, 14, but until then.
Got to get better players. And again, everyone's not going to play. That's the hard part about this whole thing, is keeping everybody happy in that aspect. Because even if you have better players that are 12, 13, 14, those players probably still think that they should be playing 6, 7, 8 minutes, right? As far as like, if y'all know what I mean, 6th, 7th, and 8th person minutes. So it's a balancing act when it comes to that, but that is a rule. You never want to be locked out. I don't think any college wants to be locked out voluntarily. Now, they'll lock themselves out if it was worth it. Right? Like, let's say next year we have 2 open scholarships. I'm just talking. And you have 2 elite transfers that want to come in. Well, 15 it is. Because you have to take that responsibility, right? Like, I have to take that. But it has to be worth it for me to lock myself out as a coach.
I don't understand what you're locking yourself out from. We're in the season, and we're going through this whole season with that 15 scholarship position open. There's no one transferring in this January or February.
Yes. So what I mean by lockout is that you're going to recruit high school players. That's a fact. And you're recruiting those high school players before any transfers come into the portal. So if you've got, let's say you have 3 open scholarships, meaning seniors are leaving, and you get 3 people who verbally commit to you. or 2 people who verbally commit to you, 3 people who verbally commit to you. Now you're at 15, you're locked out for the next year. You have no availability to have somebody. And that's what you don't want to happen.
I think what he's saying, though, is if you can get a senior that only has 1 year of eligibility remaining before the season begins, you can fill that scholarship for this year, and it does not affect the 26, 27, 28 classes.
Yeah, but you also have – what makes you think they haven't tried to do that?
Well, maybe they have. I'm not saying it's always easy to find a 1 year player.
I said it has to be worth it, is what I said. It has to be worth it.
I can tell you what makes me.
Because what happens if that player
that haven't tried that
1 year gets injured? Now she's redshirting.
Well, not if she's already used a red shirt. I'm just saying, like, there are people
you get 2 medical red shirts. So if you take that player for a year, you're assuming she's going to play for a year and go out. But what if she plays and she gets injured? Now you're stuck with her for 2 years, and now you're locked out. There's a lot that goes into. That's why I said it has to be worth it. It can't just be a situation where it's like, okay, I like this player. Let's take her. We've got 15 scholarships. No. You got to think through that whole thing. When you're thinking about your roster, you're thinking years ahead. You're not thinking just right now or next year. You're thinking about 2 years down the road. Usually it's around 2 years that you're looking at. Where I am currently, how many players I have left over this year, at the end of this year, what do I have coming in? What do I have room for? And then at that point, you start evaluating and figuring out, okay, cool. I want this person. I want that person. Everybody you go after, you may not get. But if that 15 scholarship is available and you get a person that you absolutely are willing to take that on, they're going to take them. It just doesn't, it has to make sense. It can't just be to fill a scholarship. Because then you just paying money for nothing for somebody to sit on the bench.
I see both sides of it, but Tom, we appreciate you calling in, sir. I do got to move on to the next caller, but I totally understand where you're coming from. Believe me.
Yep. Thanks for the show.
Thank you, sir. All right. I'll be
now that are transferring in at the middle of the season. Some high school players are now starting to transfer in middle of the season, which I think is very interesting. Keep going.
Well, yeah, there are midseason transfers now. That's happening in this day and age of the NCAA, and it is true. I mean, medical hardship situation. I mean, but it all like I'll play devil's advocate for just one more second in behalf of Tom. The situation that you're bringing up that's not like a real common thing that you're going to bring in a player for 1 year. They've already used a red shirt, and then they get hurt, and they use a medical red shirt. And if that happened,
so it has to be worth it.
Well, but the argument could be made that if that happened, we see, like, I'll give you a perfect example. Riley Mulvey was going to transfer out regardless of if Fran came back this past year because he wasn't playing. He'd been there 4 years, but he had a redshirt year, so he went to Siena. So he's playing at Siena right now. Mm-hmm. So, and same thing with Dale Jones. If people remember Dale Jones, Austin Ash, all those guys, they use a redshirt year, they save a year of eligibility, then they can go play for North Dakota or for the Citadel or for Siena. Mm-hmm. So if you brought in a 1 year player and they get hurt and they get a medical exemption for another year, you can simply say, hey, we don't have a spot for you. We had a spot for you the 1 year. That's what we agreed to. Like, I can understand. Yes, you can.
Listen.
What do you mean you can't do it?
Listen, hold on. This is something that is not talked about. If you bring in a player and this happens, the backlash you're going to get from AAU coaches and from people in general is not something you want to play with. Trust me when I say this. I have seen it firsthand. So again, if the player whatever it is has to be worth it, because why would I bring in a 15 player if I'm going to bring in another Callie Levine? For what?
For 1 year. For 1 year.
Why? Because now you're going to get more people who are unhappy and potentially causing issues within your team. What if that 15th player is not going to help me win basketball games? It's no point. It's absolutely no point in doing that because you've got 3 sets of 5. How are you going to run practice like that? Because you have a whole men's basketball team that you practice against. it just doesn't work. It's too many people. So somebody got to sit, and then that becomes a whole thing. So it has to be worth it for you to take your 15. Sometimes if I'm not, honestly speaking, I don't even think we went over 13 at Iowa when I was there on any given year. Never went over 13 because nobody goes into a season thinking you're going to be injured. Like, I don't think anybody does that. One of my seasons, we actually had to host tryouts in the middle of the season because we had 6 available players because it was just a mess. But either way, like, nobody goes into it thinking that, but it happens. But you're also, what's the point of wasting money on a what if? Doesn't happen.
Real quick, whose money are you wasting? I mean, it's a scholarship.
Well, see,
we
that's another thing.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. I think it's an interesting conversation. Let's go to our next caller. We got Brittany here. Brittany, welcome to the show.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
We got you.
Yep.
Perfect. So I am going to agree 100% with Kachine. I have been a part of programs collegiately that have pulled scholarships and been thrown through the media. Not national media, local media. I will tell you, coaches would rather have walk-ons than they would that 15th scholarship plus spot.
Yep.
I've seen it for 20 years in women's college athletics. I don't know. I think it's just the difference between men's college athletics and the female women's side of it a little bit.
That I will not argue with, but because what I bring up, I keep going back to. Fran did it. Kirk does it. Like, they have football athletes that they're there for 4 years. They're not making headway. They may be on scholarship, and they have a year of eligibility remaining. But it's just apparent that they're going to go through senior day because they don't have a spot available for them next year. So I'm not going to sit here and argue that there may be a difference between the women's athletics and men's athletics. I'm not going to.
These were like underclassmen that were cut, not seniors. Like, they did not renew their scholarship,
right?
Because they just couldn't play at the Division I level. But I originally was calling because I wanted to voice some frustrations with Hannah Stuelke.
Okay.
And it's not because of she's not playing, she was preseason All Big Ten. We all thought she was going to be preseason All Big Ten, deserving honor, whatever team it was. You cannot be a senior on a top 15 women's basketball program and play the roller coaster game. This is your last year, regardless of whether it's 10 points and 8 rebounds a game, 15 points, 8 rebounds a game, but we can't go playing Kachine area community college and putting up 30 points like Linden would, and then turning around and can't hit the broadside of a barn against Northwestern. Like, you've been here 4 years. You've got to do something.
Yeah, and I'll say this.
And it's got to be consistent.
Yeah, and Kachine, you hopped on after I kind of dove into Hannah's stat line tonight, but 2 of 11 from the field. And not only was she 2 of 11, but she was also, she missed half of her foul shots. She was 4 of 8. She's fresh off a day where she bounced back at the line. She was 7 of 7. So just wildly inconsistent at the line. But she's back to 4 of 8. So that means 8, and I didn't track all this, but 8 free throw attempts. So 2 of 11 from the field. That doesn't count any of the shots she missed on fouls. And she wasn't making the foul shots. And the problem is she's not taking jumpers. So almost all of those misses are at the rim. Basically, they were all at the rim. Was she sick tonight? That would be my first question to Jan. Maybe it really would if I was in Evanston.
So has she been sick every 2 games? Because it seems like to be 2 games up, 2 games down.
No, I get it. But I'm the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is a really bad Northwestern team in a moment where she really was needed because Ava and Layla were both in foul trouble. And it's some nights she's just not taking. Some nights she doesn't get to 11 attempts, but she took 11 shots tonight, missed 9 of them. So Kachine, I mean, what can you say? Is there anything else that we haven't said about Hannah finishing at the rim?
Nope. I mean, I have come to the conclusion, because this is what happens in coach brain, is when you know a player has reached their ceiling, you have a different level of understanding of them. Hannah has reached her ceiling. She reached it last year. So with that being said, my mindset isn't even so much on what she isn't doing anymore. I'm trying to get her to at least, there's got to be a goal. And it doesn't have to be crazy. Hannah can rebound the basketball. There's no reason Hannah shouldn't be getting 10 boards a game. None. Like, there's no reason. There's no reason.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, at least give her some kind of goal. So at least if she's not mentally there, because I know this is, I'm speaking for me. There are days when I knew that you start playing and you know this is not my game. Okay, so how else can I be effective? Defense, you can never have an off night on defense, so that's what it is. But I knew I had to at least get 10 boards because that is another way to create something. And for her, she's very good at that. The other option I would say is run the floor, but we're not even going to go there. We're not going to talk about it. So we're going to leave that where it's at. So for her, I think the coaching staff has to start to change their mindset about what we need and how we need it. Because again, I fully expected to a degree, and I was like, Kachine, I don't even know why you thought about that, was when Ava went out and their starting post player went out with 2 fouls. I said, oh yeah, it's Hannah time. Because that backup post was, that was not, that's Lindenwood in my opinion. So I was like, okay, here we go. But it was like she didn't adjust to the fact that she was playing a lesser competitor. So I was shocked. So either way, at the end of the day, if you're not, this is the part that I'm most upset about with Hannah. As a senior, you've been through a lot of basketball games. You know how you impact the game as a person. You know it's rebounding. Everybody, she knows she's a good rebounder. So offensively, get on the glass. That's an easy bucket.
True.
You don't even need to do any post moves. Get on the offensive glass and get putbacks. I'm totally fine with that. But it's like, I don't know if it's like forcing a triangle into a circle. That's what I feel like they're doing with her. And it's bothering me because it's not helping. She's only effective in the way that they want to use her against lesser competition. The competition is only going to go up from here. So what does that mean? We're just not going to have a Hannah? No, we can't do that.
She had 5 rebounds in 33 minutes tonight.
That's insane.
Yeah, and she was playing the 5 at times. No, I agree with you. Rebounding might be the easiest thing to look at, Brittany, because the one thing is if she's topped out, then it is what it is.
So this may be just a philosophy thing, but like at what point, and I know Jan and Lisa have always led more towards the seniors kind of just having that leg up. But if Hannah's going to give us the same numbers or similar numbers to what we're getting kind of up and down, do you start Hannah and play Journey more minutes? Because I see a lot more coming from Journey. I know there's a size difference and a big one, but Journey and Ava playing together throughout the first, third of the season, I feel like has been a lot more effective and efficient than Hannah and Ava.
I like Journey. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think Journey is ready for that yet.
And I'm not saying starting. Like I'm just
no. I know what you mean.
Yeah, okay. I just want. Yep.
She's not there yet. She's not there yet. I'm not at the point where I'm on that bandwagon where I'm like, okay, play Journey more. I do think it can be a little game based. Okay,
right.
You with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Meaning like end of quarters, that's when you start to see the shift. Usually.
Mm-hmm.
When a coach starts to slowly move onto a player or whatever, it's end of quarters, end of games. You start to see the shift of coaches finishing with said player.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not there yet with Journey, but I will say that I do like the Journey Ava because Journey is not in Ava's way.
Mm-hmm. That's my biggest problem with this offense and the two of them together is you saw so much clogging in the paint. Even in the high post, there were 3 players and everybody was collapsing on that that high post or post player, and it's like it's something. There's got to be a change there somewhere. It's got to change because we're just gonna get the offense looks stagnant.
Hannah, if I could put my money on it, Hannah needs a full-time sports psychologist. I think her mental game is where she lacks. Gonna be honest. I can see it. You can look at her on the TV and see she's second guessing every move she's making. That's a mental thing. And that's a barrier that you have to get through. It's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever had a serious injury of any kind. When you come back from that injury, it's all about trusting yourself. It's a mental barrier of like, I got to trust this leg, this ankle, this foot, whatever the case might be. And that's going to be my issue when I get back from this Achilles is trusting it, right? So it's that. And sometimes I feel like she doesn't know what she's capable of. And she starts second guessing that she isn't good enough. And like, I can see it all over the screen. And I'm like, okay, she's in that mood. Yeah, we're not getting it. And then at the beginning of games, you can tell right off the bat. Okay, yep, this is gonna be a Hannah game. How many times has any fan watched it and knew within the first 5 minutes, yeah, this is gonna be a Hannah game? And it doesn't really have much to do with scoring per se. It has everything to do with her aura on the court, her energy on the court. It translates for her. She needs a full-time sports psychologist. That's my opinion.
Brittany, we appreciate
it's a little late for that now, but
no, I
Brittany,
appreciate
you need to call in more. I like you.
I will try. It just depends on when the children are asleep. So
I hear that.
Cash
Thanks,
really
guys.
understands. So, Brittany, thanks for being here.
Yep.
Take care. All right. Some good callers here tonight. And if you're on hold, I promise we've not forgotten about you. All of our premium members here, Michael in the chat, Barbara's in the chat. Several of these people, Barbara's on our Discord. We got Bob, who's a premium member. Mitchell's a premium member. Commander Cody. Cody's over in our Discord as well. David Morris, thank you for being a premium member. REM, she's over in our
Hey, speaking of Discord, did my people get into the Discord that I called out last week?
Yeah, we did get. We've got a couple invites. You got to send.
Oh, okay. Because
yes,
they was about to get cussed out again if they wasn't in there. I had to make sure. I got to follow up. You know.
What's your reaction to what Barbara says here about playing when you have a fever or the flu? Like we see players do that. Is that dangerous? Like, what's the COVID? Everybody was wearing masks.
That's a fact. I've done it more times than I can count. I don't think I've ever played with a fever because the fever with you playing is a disaster. Only because you're already hot. Like you're gonna get dehydrated within like 2 seconds. So, but I played sick. I've played sick. I've gotten an IV before the game. Like I played.
How does that work? How does that work when we go from so concerned during COVID to of transmission to now we can just play players who are sick? How does that work?
Well, see, there's no rule against it, technically speaking. So yeah, it's one of those things where like you gotta do what you gotta do. If you can play, you're gonna play. Yeah. You know what's funny is I actually played some of my best games sick.
Some of the best players in the world have played their best
games.
Because
you want to know why? Usually, this is not for everybody, but I can only speak for me. You know that you don't have energy. So you are so meticulous about everything you do because you know you don't have a lot of it. So every movement you make is methodical. It's precise. So you end up being more efficient.
Yeah, Michael Jordan's a great example. Dirk Nowitzki's a great example. Like, there are some great ones that have had some of their best performances of all time when they have been sick. I think Steph Curry's had a game like that as well. So, all right, let's go to our next caller. We got Bo here. Bo, thanks for being patient. Welcome back.
Not a problem, Corey. How you doing?
We're doing good. How are you?
So, I got to stick up with Cash on this. I completely agree with Cash on the 15th roster. The other thing I got to point out, and maybe Cash was getting to this, I think with the transfer, but also NIL, things are different too. I know some people, I mean, I'm on Discord right now with Skim Milky, and I remember we talked about this, how with the money. We have Emily Rodriguez. Of course, this is rumor, nothing official, but rumor has it she's getting paid $300K a year from Iowa. And so adding that extra player may cost you money that you could invest in a future transfer as well, or a future high-end recruit. From the word on the street is we got into a bidding war for Addison Bjorn, and that was topping over $500,000. So I think that's kind of the thing people need to keep in mind too, is that extra scholarship is not just the scholarship money, it's the NIL money to get a quality player. So the other thing I commented on this on the Discord a few times. It just looked like everybody was running through mud tonight. And Cash, I'm glad you brought that up about the practice, because I was just assuming everybody was sick. But like the rebounding, and somebody made it kind of like, well, the numbers don't show we're losing rebounding, but the eye test shows we were losing rebounding battles. Northwestern was getting the offensive rebounding, and they were getting second chance points. And it's plays that for every other game for Iowa, you just almost count on, Taylor Stremmel is going to get that rebound, or Hannah's going to get that rebound. And like, they just were like watching the ball fall and not moving. But same thing on the jump, jumping for a rebound. How many times was Hannah, did she like almost half jump for a rebound, and the Northwestern player jumped the 2 extra inches and took it away from her? So I don't know. Just something didn't seem right there. The other thing about the turnovers, and Cash, I guess, defer to you a little on this. So I'm going to stick up for Taylor Stremmel a little bit. So her 2 carry calls. What I saw in those carry calls were not just of her being lackadaisical. She was going to pass the ball, and the player she was going to pass to just turned and ran away. And she was trying to like double clutch the ball, and she got caught. It looks like somebody, I can't remember if it was one of the callers, or in the chat, somebody said that they almost look programmed. It just doesn't feel like the offense is cohesive right now. It's like, okay, well, I need to set this screen. Okay, I need to look to this corner to go over there. It's just so robotic, as opposed to, the Caitlin years where the ball was almost like the 80s Lakers of zipping around the court like ballet. It just doesn't feel like the players know how to play with each other.
I'm just curious, Bo. You feel this way? Like they haven't played a tough Big Ten schedule to date, but do you feel this way as a whole this year, or just tonight? Because what I've been saying these last 2 games is that 3/4 of the last 2 games, Penn State and Nebraska, have looked, I think, more like what Iowa did in the later years of Lisa Bluter, obviously notwithstanding Caitlin Clark. But it's been more offense-oriented and not as good on the defensive end, and tonight was the opposite. So you're saying you think in general the offense has not looked cohesive?
What I will say is, I'll give you an example, and somebody in the chat was talking about Stremmel right now. I think the argument during Penn State that Stremmel almost looks like more of the point guard at times than Chit Chat. That she's the one getting the ball into the post because Chit Chat doesn't seem like she's as confident to get it in there. And yes, we're putting up points, but some of that is the eye test. Like you said, we're not playing the blistering Big Ten schedule yet. But there have been times where we're just throwing the ball to, like, where are you throwing it to? Where does this set up? Or, and I'm just gonna say this: I can't stand the high post offense. I'm sorry, because I think that's part of the thing too. Is we're asking some of these players to make decisions that maybe they're not trained to make yet. It's like, oh well, this player's cutting this way. Can I fit the pass into that little hole there? And they don't have the confidence to do it. But we're scoring, but it just doesn't seem like it fits. Or like, somebody says we're throwing the balls out of bounds because people aren't looking. So I don't know. It just feels like the team maybe just needs to play more together. Or the other part is, somebody was talking about, it feels like plug and play a little bit with the lineups. Is Jan just kind of playing with the lineups to see who fits together versus maybe even playing the 2-player game where, we're running pick and roll with 2 players that have really good chemistry together and they can read each other's body movements or something like that. It just doesn't feel like we're clicking as much as we could.
Yeah.
I feel like that we have some really outstanding players on this team, even with some of the athleticism shortfalls that everybody criticizes. We have players that can put the ball in the basket. And I think that if we're running a V8, we're running on 6 cylinders right now.
Do we
compared to what I think we could do.
Do we still Do some of us still believe that Emily Rodriguez would not help this offense right now? Are there still people that believe that? I'm just curious.
I'm not even. Well, it's been a month and a half since we've seen her.
I know.
I'm not sure I can even speak to. I mean, I think that she would have the downhill game, and I thought that today. It's like, well, I wish we had an Emily Rodriguez to kind of break this open. But I mean, it kind of goes back to that too: is can one player take over a game, or do you want that player to be able to work with that? Is she going to be able to do the dump off into the post? And that's one that I specifically see today is like Addie Deal dribbles down to the low block, picks up her dribble. Nobody moves. Nobody seems to have an idea where to go to open up a passing lane to bail her out, and she gets a 5-second call. I don't know if I can remember the last time that we had a 5-second call on offense.
Yeah, that was a weird. That's a great example, Kachine, of a horrible.
Nobody runs the basketball. That's what that means.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's what I mean is like I'm not seeing this cohesiveness. Like, okay, I'm the player. Well, I was hoping Chit Chat would be more of that, but again, maybe it's the illness tonight that I'm seeing it more. But it's like, we were so spoiled with Caitlin when things were going to hell in a handbasket. Caitlin's, give me the ball, watch what I do with it.
Yeah.
Or at least that calming influence like Lucy was last year. I think Chit Chat can get there, but we've heard a lot, even the newscasters we're talking about, is trying to push her to be more assertive. I hope that she can get that, like where Chit Chat goes and just takes the ball from her.
Yeah, and the good news is if Chit Chat was dealing with an illness tonight, that at least explains her game. Because I haven't seen her play poorly. I mean,
she was not there.
That is comforting, at least to know that she was dealing with something, and hopefully she can get better here in the next few days before the
one other thing I will bring up that we haven't really talked about is there are a lot of fouls called in this game, and I didn't even think that all the fouls that were called were the ones that were committed. We had Hannah Stuelke with a cut below her right eye. Looked like she had gone through at least 3 rounds in a boxing match. I mean, Kachine, you've been through, from when I played amateur ball, sometimes those fouls kind of wear on you over a game too. I don't think that explains all that you saw tonight, but I'm sure by the end of the game, well, and I can say for sure, Taylor Stremmel, by the end of the fourth quarter, she was gassed. And there are a lot of players at the end of the game that could barely walk down the court, it looked like.
That's why I said what I said about practice.
Yep.
Like coach is really going to have to take a look at that and figure out how she can adjust practice, because this is where the grind gets difficult usually.
Yep. And we're not even through midway of January, so it's going to get hard.
It's usually like the end of January, beginning of February. Woo!
Well, wait till they go to that West Coast trip.
Yeah.
So, Bo, thank you for calling in, sir. We appreciate you thanks for being in the Discord as well. I appreciate that. So we'll talk to you hopefully Iowa's game against Indiana coming up on Sunday.
Yep. Have a good night.
Thank you, sir. I just want to highlight something because this individual wanted me to address the comment that was made by Bo here a minute ago. Please explain that Emily Rodriguez literally cannot receive NIL money. International players do not get money. What's that, Cash?
Actively, she cannot. Passively, technically.
Well, not Reese, the punter for football, not Emily. Now, I will admit, I'm not going to endorse what you just said or not endorse. I know in the past you've been right that like Tory Taylor couldn't technically bring in money, so he was able to raise money for like the Children's Hospital, stuff like that. But I just want to share something because you brought up Reese Dakin, who just committed to Michigan State, Iowa's punter, just committed to Michigan State. I want you to see something. This is his Twitter profile. What does that say right in his bio? Kachine, what does that say?
NIL opportunities. I'm not kidding when I say that.
NIL opportunities.
Passive income opportunities. You cannot make active. Those are the two differences in the words. Active means like, this is the best way to describe this, like work, meaning like commercials and like that kind of stuff. But you can do like, what do you call those? Like merchandise and like passive income, which you would think of as passive. That's technically the workaround, but again, there's a lot of layers in there that you got to have the right people around you to make sure you don't violate your visa. But you can get NLI. Just has to be passively. Don't question me about exactly the depths of that, but I know that you can. Trust me.
I just wanted to point that out because it's not as black and white as maybe we're making it. Or international players, because I know Emily's not European. International players can't get NIL opportunities, and American players can. That's not totally the truth. So, and again, just look at Reese Dakin's bio, and he just committed to Michigan State. So, anyways, that is something to think about. Let's go to our. We got like 2 callers left, and we'll send Kachine to bed. I always say that to Gary. Kachine, I'm not too worried about you. You're still young, but no offense to Gary. I'll dig the hole some other time. Let's go to our next caller. Thank you for calling Iowa Postgame with Kachine Alexander. Who's on the line? Hello.
I guess that person wants me to go to bed earlier.
Beep. You're on the air with Kachine Alexander. Welcome. Hello. This caller has been on hold for over an hour.
I feel so sad about that. Do you have to hang up on them? Or like, can you like...
Should I just leave them on the line and bring our next caller in, and then just like if they start talking over the next caller, we'll just let's do that. Let's bring in Lemansky. Lemansky, welcome. You've been here a long time as well. Thank you.
Yeah, I believe you let somebody talk over me, Corey. I'm not surprised one darn bit. You sneaky! I'm worried about your bedtime, my man.
Really? Thank you.
Yeah, I really am. You're aging fast. You're aging fast.
I appreciate your concern. Yeah, I'm about a month away from 30 years old, so you're right about the aging part. Welcome back.
I'm gonna go back to a comment I made a while back about we excel inside the paint, but outside the paint we got challenges. And I tell you what, Ava is really a key to our whole success. She's so key. And what happened tonight was just an example. And so I think we've been scouted. We got all kinds of stuff on tape. I think coaches are breaking us down. We got a former Iowa player on the Northwestern bench that knows the Iowa way. And you both can jump in on this, but and I'm actually getting this from Cash more than my own thoughts. But we've got Hayes that doesn't even look at the basket. They pass it in, they pass it out with no purpose. I'm so sick of that. I just like, what in the hell is the coaching staff? What does that do to our offense when Ava isn't in there? And I'm stealing this from Cash a little bit. If she gets the ball in and pass it out, why doesn't she just go out there and screen and do a pick and roll and see what happens? Same with utilizing Hannah. If Hannah, she usually gets the ball and goes, and she's quick. Why don't we have a more diversified offense? It's getting to be kind of canned and repetitious, and I think easy to scout. Why doesn't Hannah once in a while kick it back out to whoever, go set a screen, pick and roll? Because I think she'd be fantastic in a pick and roll going towards the basket and make that defense move. I don't think we have the talent outside the paint like we used to, and Jan has relied probably correctly on our bigs, but we better get more diversification in our offense because we're easy to scout. And my expectations after tonight and thinking about UConn, my expectations are starting to lower. This coaching staff has got to start utilizing our players' best attributes and not go stale here, or we better prepare ourselves. We're a young team, and I'm rambling and I apologize, but you know what? And I do the same thing as a lot of the fans do. We're putting all this pressure on Hannah. We have not recruited correctly, that we have a small senior class and they haven't played with each other a long time. And all our success is residing in this very young team.
Mm-hmm.
Even Chit Chat's young, and she's really key, but she's still young. Your thoughts, Cash, on the offense that to me is stale and needs the coaching staff to do. And I'm stealing this a little bit from you because you've touched on it. We need a little pick and roll and a variation with our bigs.
So, yeah, our guards are not outside of Chit Chat to a degree. You can't And she can do it. It's just that she's small, so she can't actually get to where she need to get to. But our guards can't create for themselves like that. How many times have our guards broken somebody down and got to the rim for a bucket? Like literally a layup. It's just not a thing. You can't be one-dimensional like that, because the later you get in the season, the more people start to scout you and the easier you are to guard. And I've said this time and time again, especially with Hannah, they're not playing Hannah on the perimeter. They don't care. So use her as a free screener. Use her as a free screener. She's literally a free screener because nobody is coming to help off that ball screen because they can't get up there in time if they're sitting in the paint waiting for Ava. So use it. And you know what I would love to see? Darn it. I need my little whiteboard. I got to get that up as well. Is, you know what? Pause. I got a piece of paper.
Pay attention, Corey. Don't fall asleep.
I was literally thinking about this today, and I was like, let me find my My daughter is always taking my pens everywhere.
Gosh, kids aren't kids Romansky. It just
right. I'm gonna say this because it's kind of like a set play, but not really, honestly speaking.
She's a pretty special youngster. She can lose all the pens she wants.
That's right. And by the way, I think we have Chris from Wyoming on the line. Chris, welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we were trying to get your attention here a few minutes ago, but now you're here. We've got two callers on the line at the same time. How about that?
Yeah. Well, hi, Lumansky.
Hi, Chris. You're a better caller than I am. I'm going to give you a lot of leeway.
God, I hope you can see this. Hold on. Let me bring it down.
So, but I was talking before I was there. You just didn't hear me. So I don't know what was going on. I just wanted to say one thing. I wanted to say a lot more, but all my questions have been answered.
Keep talking while I figure this out.
Pardon me?
Keep talking. She's going to figure out this whiteboard thing. Keep going.
And kids are great. So, Ava and her fouls, and I heard her make a comment after the last game, where she didn't get into foul trouble. And she was asked about, what are you doing to work on foul, not fouling. And she said that she loves block shots and she wants to block every shot, and she's having to stop herself from doing that. That's how she sees herself getting into foul trouble, is wanting to block shots, and she's trying to stop herself from doing that. So I don't know what happened tonight.
Well, the only problem with what she said, and I'm the one who asked her that question, the only problem with what she said, Chris, is that's not accounting for all the stupid reach-ins, the fouls that have nothing to do with players trying to shoot over her. When she's just committing fouls. Kachine, there was one tonight, right? You get out your mammoth, oversized, obese whiteboard. There was one tonight. Well, I'm just calling it like I see it as you do. But there was one tonight where Ava just dumb foul, had nothing to do with anything. What was the foul, Cash? You texted me about it at some point.
That was Layla's foul. It was like 2 seconds left on the clock for the quarter, and she reached over the girl's back. It was like, what are you doing? Okay,
Layla's foul. That one was Layla's foul. But nevertheless, a lot of Ava's fouls, Chris, have just been away from the ball, or not necessarily away from the ball, but away from the basket. Maybe not even her defender in some cases.
Yeah. So she's maybe it's just impulse control, right?
Well,
she's got to break. Chris, she's got to break those bad habits from high school where she did that every other play.
Exactly, because everybody was shorter, right? She could do it.
Exactly.
So that's
That's coaching more than her. I blame the coaches for that.
High school to college. So, and there's a lot of that going on this team, I do believe. But I must say that at the beginning of the game, you could feel how it was so flat, and I thought, oh, these guys, they're not up for the game. They think that it's just going to be a cakewalk. And then towards the end of the game, I'm starting to think maybe they're sick. You know what I mean? So I think I'm going to go with that there must be a virus going through that's that affected people. Because
Chris, can I
it
ask
was just
you a question? Can I ask you a question, Chris?
sure.
When you go to Ava so repetitiously, don't you think the rest of the team, maybe not on purpose, accidentally, doesn't take on responsibility, and they're so too dependent on one style of offense?
Yeah, and then they become spectators in a way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But there's talent on the team, but you see a hesitation to shoot from outside, and I don't like that. It's like almost a fear of shooting sometimes, and having a game like this, who stepped up? Really?
Well,
if Ava wasn't there, who stepped up?
Yeah, I mean, it was just timely buckets. That's a really bad team they played tonight. I hate to say that. It's just they played a bad team, so they could afford to play really badly in a lot of different areas. Just be happy they played Northwestern and they didn't play even Indiana. I think Indiana would probably have beaten them tonight. If they were playing this game in Bloomington, they probably would have lost to Indiana. So just be happy they played Northwestern.
I wasn't sure we were going to win this one.
No,
I
mean,
oh my God.
You're not the only one. So.
Oh boy. Well, anyway, I hope this is the worst game we ever play, and everybody recovers, and I hope Chit Chat gets well soon, because a lot of those turnovers wouldn't have happened if she would have had the ball. If she would have been, bringing the ball up the court and running the offense. That's just how I feel about it. Because Taylor was asleep half the time. I mean, you have unforced turnovers. There's no excuse for that, in my mind.
Yep, absolutely.
No excuse. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Chris, thanks for calling in.
Nice talking to you, and go Hawks, and we'll catch you the next time.
Sounds good. Thanks, Chris. Have a great week. All right. Cash is back with the whiteboard. Before we get to the whiteboard, Big Grove's big play of the day, Journey Houston's offensive rebound and putback, plus the foul with 1:50 to go in the third. Felt like a big play. It was tied at the time. That put them up 44-42. Journey Houston coming off the bench and providing a spark with Big Grove's big play of the day. And as we mentioned earlier, Ava Heiden, RTI Threads player of the game with 23 points, 9 of 11 from the field, 5 of 6 from the foul line. Had 5 rebounds, did have 4 fouls, which kept her under 20 minutes of play on the day. By the way, Big Grove Brewery is the official brewery of the Hawkeyes. You can visit their locations across the state of Iowa. Check them all out at biggrove.com and look at their great menu, their taproom menu. A buddy of mine I was watching the game with tonight had one of their Royal Eddies, their Imperial IPA. We haven't talked about the Royal Eddy. If you like a hoppy beer, try their Royal Eddy. It's available at your local store, but you can check out all their locations: Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, Solon, Iowa City, Omaha. Everything's delicious that they serve, and great service as well. BigGrove.com, the official craft brewery of the Hawkeyes. Big Grove Brewery. Cashy is still with us. All I see is a whiteboard.
I'm here.
Okay. What you got?
All right. So this is something I would like to see us do at some point.
Yeah.
So Chit Chat, I don't care what guard. This could be Taylor Stremlow. This could be anybody. Kylie Fearbach, doesn't matter. Hannah, Ava, Taylor McCabe.
I'm gonna pull Lemansky out for just a second so we can get your picture.
Okay.
There we
Everybody with me. Hannah, Ava, Taylor McCabe, whoever the other guard is, Chit Chat.
Okay.
So part of the ball screen offense is we're coming here for this ball screen here. Really what I'm trying to create is 2-on-1 scenarios. So as Chit Chat is coming off this ball screen, I want Ava to duck in right here. At this time she's coming off the ball screen, Taylor McCabe is rising. Why is that important? Because nobody is leaving Taylor McCabe, which should give Ava a one-on-one scenario from this duck in. If Chit Chat comes off of this, Hannah is going to roll a wide roll, not a tight roll. Okay? She's just rolling wide. Now, if you want Hannah out of it completely, you can do that. Meaning, as soon as she comes off this ball screen, she's looking here. Hannah's going to turn around and down screen this guard to get that movement out of there. So you have a couple options in regards to how you want to get out of that situation. You can have different calls for it too. Maybe one call, Hannah's rolling. Maybe the next call, Hannah's setting the down screen for this guard coming out. So if Chit Chat comes off, let's say she doesn't have whatever she likes, right? Same scenario. Chit Chat passes to Taylor McCabe, gets herself out of the corner. Hannah's already down here, ready and waiting. Ava's going to come up in ball screen. Same thing happens. She's coming off the ball screen. Hannah's already down here. She's ducking in. She's rising. You have a continual motion that way, and then that way you have a lot of options and putting people in situations you want them for. Another way of doing that is, remember how we had Hannah here, and we had Taylor McCabe over here, Ava chit-chat? Maybe you want a quick bucket. Put Taylor McCabe right here. Because now when Hannah comes off of this, you have Ava taking up all of the world over here, and Hannah's going to down screen. Where is Hannah's first defense going to be? She either has to help on this ball screen, which means Taylor McCabe is free and clear off of this free ball or down screen, or she's in the paint covering up Ava. Either way, Taylor McCabe is coming off of that free and clear. Those are things I would like us to see from our offense to create a little bit more movement and have your best player camping out where she should, and then having your shooters being moved into good situations. Chit-chat is fantastic coming off ball screens. So why not use her in that aspect? She's got a nice little pull-up right here. She can hit Hannah for a little mid-range jumper right here, which we know she can make that. And then if not, you have a player coming up off a down screen, or you have a player rising right here. You can do a continual motion. That is what I would do.
Well, I think I can speak for a lot of Iowa fans that let me, can I switch out? I think I can switch. I need to play around with this a little bit more so that I can switch you out for me because I have myself full screen. We can all hear you still.
I don't know if anybody has any questions, but
yeah, that was really good though. We'll figure this out later, but no, that was really good. So we got to we got to have the whiteboard back on a regular basis.
I know. I got it. I'm trying to figure out where, because I did originally have it on this wall, but then you guys can't see that wall. So I was like, I got to figure out where to place it correctly. We'll figure it out. But yeah, but that's something I was thinking about in my head when I was like watching us and I keep talking about ball screens. I'm like, how can I get everybody in the best place to score? And I think Ava's very good with ducking. She's aggressive. Hannah's even really good with duckings. And I feel like the shooters rising out of the corner, it takes the pressure off the baseline. And then on top of that, you've got shooters coming out of down screen. Switch it up a little bit, you know? So yeah, anyways.
Yeah, why don't we do like
X's and O's with cash?
We could do we could do a cash cam. How about a cash cam? During, they do like an Eli and Peyton cam on Monday Night Football. We could do a cash cam. All right. People are loving that in the chat. So D. Rollison, thank you for the super chat. He says that deserves 550 likes. Where are all the likes at, D. Rollison? Let's get those likes in here.
I'm not going to say I'm proud of myself, but I'm kind of proud because nobody has any questions. And I feel like
you explained it well.
I did, I tried.
You've not only played, but you've coached. That's what makes you so great here. So, yeah, no, I like that that segment. We'll have to do more of that. I didn't realize you had a whiteboard of that size.
VMS Bigot gave it to me.
Oh, this was the okay.
Remember when he was like, I have a whiteboard in the chat? I met him and he gave me the whiteboard.
Right.
I've been trying to figure out where to put it in the office that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but then I had to, because it was on my brain, this play or this motion, kind of ball screen motion thing. And I was like, this is the perfect time to talk about it. So, yeah.
No, absolutely. We'll have to bust that out more. Ray Grant, thumbs up for Cash. Absolutely. Everybody hit that thumbs up button. And Lemansky, anything else from you before we let you? We're going to hit through some comments here in the chat before we head out. Anything else?
What do you think?
Me?
Yeah, was that kind of like what you were thinking in your head when you were thinking about ball screen? Whatever. It's okay if it wasn't.
Cash, I want to go play for you like tomorrow morning. I want to get on the practice floor and go at it, and you can tell me where to move and how to pick and roll. Let's go, man. I'm ready.
Put me in, Coach.
But I'll go till I break down.
That's good.
Take long, but
Corey, you are so lucky. She makes you look so damn good.
He's the one that found me. He gets all the credit.
I agree. I'll give my scouting and prospecting team all the credit on that one.
How many on your scout team? Is it more than one?
It's less than two.
Now, Corey, now we got to help her. She needs more than one whiteboard to pre-plan her whiteboard session, her cash cams.
We'll have to be. I'll tell you what. We'll have to be a little bit more methodical and organized with how we do this. And because I have things that if I had known we had access to this, we'd probably do a little bit more in it. So
no, I don't want you to with cash. I don't want you too involved now. Don't try to hone in on her stuff.
Listen,
you like to debate her.
Now, I guess we're gonna take a little poll. Does the whiteboard stay, everyone? Like, do we really like that option?
Oh, come on. We don't need to do a poll. Everybody likes it.
Listen, I can keep it. I just have to figure. Well,
it's
if
perfect.
only you guys were literally in my brain on during the game. I'm gonna have to start writing stuff down, but my brain goes a mile a minute about adjustments, about all kind of stuff. But coach-wise, I guess, which is a little bit different than podcast, I guess. So maybe I'll try to fuse them a little bit more.
I love the person earlier who said that we need to clip that. Somebody needs to clip it out and send it to Jan.
Corey,
Erica, yes.
You do this every once in a while. You take a shorter clip of your shows.
Yeah.
And what's that called?
We clip out a portion of the show there. It's not called anything. Yeah.
It's a minute. You can go
sure.
on Facebook,
on
YouTube,
Facebook Shorts, or Facebook Shorts, Reels, and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. Yep.
That's a no-brainer. That'd be the best short that you ever put on the YouTube. You don't see anything like it. You'd look like a superstar. Just let Cash. Don't put your face beside it, trying to take credit for it.
I won't. No worries. I'm going to take myself out every time we go into that segment. So
we know you have a wife, and we know she deserves a lot of credit, and she gets 0.
What does that have to do with this? Anyways, all right.
I'm just telling. I quote Corey Bratta. I call a spade tonight.
You call a spade, yep.
You don't understand it, but I'm just calling a spade.
Let me
ask you. Get out of here before you cut me off.
I'm going to cut you off anyways. But thank you for being here. It's a first for that. So, Lemansky, appreciate your support, sir.
It was only right that the whiteboard came out for the first time for a Lemansky call.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? I feel like that was great synergy. That's what we're going to go with.
I don't know why people are taking this opportunity to rip on me, but Erica says, Cash, please join the Iowa coaching staff. They need you. Mary Bush, tag Jan and don't take credit, Corey. What am I going to take credit for? That's all Kachine. I'm not. Oh, but man,
y'all are hilarious. Leave my guy Corey alone.
They love everything. X's and O's with Cash, says Katie Lee.
Yeah, somebody come up with a better name than that. But
Katie's
that's all I came up with. X's and O's was Cash, but that sounds You guys are way more clever than I am.
Hey, Katie Lee is in our Discord.
Woo! Thank you, Katie Lee.
So I'm gonna pick on a few people here tonight. Some people that I see in the chat a lot. Peace, love, Jen. Why isn't she in our Discord? Brandon's
not in our Discord?
Why isn't Brandon in our Discord?
Oh, I know you lying, Mr. Brandon Burr.
Yeah, what's the deal there? Let's see. Sheila's going to be in it tomorrow morning. She sent an email back, so we're going to get her invite there. Let's see. Who else do we have that's not in our Discord here? Brian's not in our Discord. We got to get Brian in the Discord as well. Okay, I want to go quick fire on a few comments here in the chat, and then if you have questions about the Discord, folks, let us know. Michael, what happened to Melany? What does that mean? She was a 4-star when she came in. Unfortunately, she's been dealing with injuries. She lacks speed, lacks lateral quickness. How would you answer that question, Kachine, for a fan that apparently expected more out of Tegan Melany to this point?
I don't know. I wasn't a fan majority of the season last year. And then she got hurt right away. So it was like, well, man, she needs a lot of time. That's what I'm going to say. I don't think that if they can somehow get her shot going, we can use that. But
there were times last year where she could make 3.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
what happened?
Yeah.
Her shot is she can't hit the side of a barn. Like literally. Like I don't. That has to be seriously looked at. Because I do think, because I remember at the beginning of the season, like she was shooting stuff that I was like, wait a minute now. And then I don't know what happened. So they need to get her shot back on. If they can get her shot back on, I would feel better about it. If they cannot, and she's just not a shooter, well then I don't see no playing time for her.
Steve Eichert says he loves the show. Thank you, Steve. And Patrick Weir, yes on the whiteboard. Absolutely.
Oh, Katie Kessler. That's it. That's the one, Katie.
Crash the glass
with cash. Yes, Katie.
That's great.
Let me write that down. That's
Crash
good.
the glass with cash. That's hard to say, man. That's a tongue twister.
I love that.
Okay, JSC Hawk says we had to play zone against Northwestern. Let that sink in. Why were they?
I think that was a terrible decision.
Why were they playing zone?
I don't know.
Okay. Gary says I won't blame Deal if she hits the portal. Okay. I mean,
she won't.
She's not hitting the portal. Yeah.
Because she's not playing well. She's not going to, because nobody's going to want her. So she's not going to hit.
She's not going to hit the portal, but you should hit the like button. Steve brings this up. Yes, please hit the like button.
Yes.
Mary Bush loves your hair, so that's positive.
Well, thank you. Now, Tegan Melany, she might hit the portal. We keep on.
Yep. JM Ramsey 4079 Cash. Was this just a team overlooking Northwestern?
That's a possibility.
In addition to being sick, maybe?
Yeah, that's a possibility.
They have not played a ton of basketball here of late. Wishbone says, is McCabe a better defender than Deal?
Yes.
Right now, she is.
Yeah.
JSC Hawk, yep, Cash always speaks the truth, doesn't hold back. Steve, okay, venue is still rough to play in. I think he's asking about the barn because the men play there tomorrow.
Oh.
What'd you think about the barn, Cash?
Oh, man. It's my hometown, don't get me wrong, but I can't stand that place. My God. Now, I do know that they've lowered the floor from when I was playing, so thank God for that. But it's still up there.
They lowered the floor?
It's not as high anymore.
Oh, okay.
Which is great. Like Lisa Bluter used to make us, I kid you not, before every game, especially freshmen, but once you get used to it, it's like whatever. She would roll the ball off the court and you'd have to go dive, literally, because people were afraid at first.
Right.
It's a mental thing. She would roll the ball and we all have to run and go dive and slide off the court pretty much. Good time. Hate that place though.
Erica says she just joined the Discord. So we'll get Erica a link. Appreciate that. And Annie says, great job, Kachine. 100% agree. Thank you for the
chat. Court time with Cash. That's a good one too.
Court time with Cash. I saw that. Erica wants you to join the coaching staff. So you're not the first person that said that, Erica, but Bobby, yeah, court time with Cash. That's a good one. Thank you for being
too. Hey, I got some decisions to make. Come here.
Peace Love Jen says, really good, rough game for this team. Turnover shots didn't fall for many people. Hoping the next one is much better despite the foul trouble. Great performance from Ava in her limited minutes. And Kenneth, anyone going to be in LA later this month for both the UCLA and USC games? That would be an interesting question for some fans that have the time and have the money to have an extended stay in the LA area. Last time the men did that, it didn't go so well when they played at USC and UCLA last year. Gary Thompson, Tegan turned it over one time, gets benched. There's plenty of others turning it over, and Journey was completely gassed at one point. Give Tegan a second chance.
She was gassed.
Do you think Tegan should have gotten a second chance, Cash?
That's a tough one. Only because we were in such a battle, man. That second quarter is when I felt like Journey was dying, literally. Yes. Only because you can spell her for a minute or two. You know what I'm saying? You could spell her for that because she wasn't being effective because she was tired.
Yeah. Deb says yes on the whiteboard. And let's see. Ryan says, what about Cash's crash out? What?
That sounds crazy.
That does sound crazy. What does that mean?
I'm not crashing out. I do like the wordplay, however.
VMS, thank you for the whiteboard and for being a premium member and for being on the Discord. So we appreciate it.
Yes.
100%.
MVP.
Sue says, can we do analysis of the Coach Jan experiment? She's never criticized. Are you kidding? We criticize her all the time. I mean, hey, Kachine played for her. And, you know, I talk to Jan every once in a while at media availability, and I'm not afraid to criticize her. So let's not act like, I don't know, maybe some people in the media are. I'm not afraid to criticize Jan Jensen. Rachel says, is Levine a better defender than Strimlo, in your opinion, Cash? I saw that Callie was subbed in late in the game when Iowa was on defense. She subbed in for Strimlo? I did notice she was in there late in the fourth quarter, Cash, on defense.
I'm thinking. Yes. I only say that because Callie is probably like, her and Chit Chat are probably neck and neck as far as who's the quickest on the team. So her lateral quickness is up there. Now her decision making, however, on defense is what gets her in trouble because she's overly aggressive at times. And it's like, you don't need to make the home run play. I just need you to keep that person in front of you. So I can see them doing that. Plus Stremla was tired too. So, I mean, yeah.
Dan says, Cash, how much in the half court does this team miss Lucy? Just not having shot making, getting the ball when someone else is in trouble. We don't have anyone that does that.
We are missing our star player. If you want that to be Lucy, it could be Lucy, but we're missing a star player.
Paul says, Kachine, did you play with Northwestern's assistant coach? Come on now, Tangela Smith.
I'm not that old, Paul.
She played in the 90s, Paul. What you doing, man? Come, are you kidding me?
Oh, I graduated in 2011. I'm not that
I will say this, Tangela Smith has aged well. Like
she has.
She doesn't look old. I mean, she's not old, but she doesn't look like she's in the 90s. I would have said
Tangela Smith wasn't she with the Rutgers coach? Oh my God.
Yeah, she played in the late. Yeah, she played.
What is her name?
94 to 98, I think.
I'm losing her name right now. Oh,
Vivian Stringer.
Vivian Stringer. Yeah, she was with her. So
Eric says, will the wrestling show follow the meet on Friday night? Yes, Keegan will be back Friday night for post-duel coverage here on the channel. How do you fix it, Kachine? I think this was in reference to turnovers. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
we talked about that.
We talked about this, but emphasis in practice, right? I mean, right? That's basically what this comes down to.
Yeah, you have to make it an emphasis. You have to make it an emphasis.
Hard to imagine that they've made it a huge emphasis at this point, but I could be wrong. Yeah, Kate brings up the 5-second violation. You don't see that called very much. Kind of the epitome of some of the dumb, sloppy turnovers. Jason says, who sits when Kylie and Emily return?
Callie Levine.
That's one.
Hold on, I'm thinking. I'm trying to remember who was playing before that.
I mean, is it possible that you could play Hannah a few less minutes with Emily's length, even though I know she's not playing
it's probably going to be a half and half scenario, honestly.
Yeah.
They just won't be playing as much. That's just a fact. There's just not. Taylor Stremmer is going to come in for chit chat. That's how it's going to work.
Kelly says that Cash's worst take is how good she thinks Journey is. Hey, man. Hey, I love it when people call you out on stuff, even if they're wrong. Just because everybody's praising you and heaping all this stuff on. She says your worst take is how good you think Journey Houston is. So,
okay.
Whatever. Sportscast Media. Hannah's sick. She did have a gash on the side of her face.
She did. And that gash was crazy.
That was a weird looking gash, wasn't it?
Weird. Like what?
It was a nail, I'm assuming, right? Nail down the face. I didn't.
That was crazy. It was like I've never seen that before. Even the trainer was confused. So, yeah.
Max says, hopefully winning ugly on the road tonight helps our focus against Indiana this weekend. Northwestern, while bad, played some decent ball tonight, and we're playing to win. And I will say this about Northwestern. I think they're bad relative to the conference, but they have played better at home. Like they haven't gotten totally throttled by 30 like they have on the road. Like they played Ohio State. I'm not close, but relatively close. They played a couple other teams at home and were at least competitive. So maybe that's some comfort people can take. Bobby says you keep the 15th scholarship open so you can sign a pro player at the semester break. Yeah, that's he's kind of tongue-in-cheek. Thank you for being a premium member, Bobby. Kim says the turnovers along with awful free throw shooting comes back to coaching. So, yeah, I can see that perspective 100%. This user says, looks to me, Addie's development is affecting her, if you know what I mean. So, Cash, is that a real thing? That's I think that's a comment that I shouldn't have read because I'm now reading it back and I'm like, why are we asking that question? Okay, we're going to move on from that question just because, again, when you said development, I took it as a basketball question, but I don't think he meant it as a basketball question.
I was taking it as.
Yes, so I don't really think this is the platform to be discussing that about an 18-year-old.
That's interesting.
Anyways, Jackie says, whoa, that's a big statement. Hannah peaked, hit a ceiling. You said that earlier in the show, but you said that about Addison O'Grady as well.
Yes, I did.
Sheila, you are not connected to the Discord. We'll get you that link tomorrow morning. Eric says, Cash, where did you get your Hawkeye wearable blanket?
Kelly is going to have to say that because I think it was Target, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Snuggie. Snuggie is the technical name. It's the brand name, I guess. Right?
I want to say somewhere in Coralville.
Hey, did you like that post, that tweet that I sent out a few weeks ago from Walmart with all the Snuggies on that rack? There were all these different Snuggies.
Oh, I've seen those. It's like Starburst and whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I got to get me one of those.
I'm just like, this is so random at the front of the store right by the register. So anyways, Kelly says next year, Chit Chat at the 1, McKenna 4, Ava 5, Addie at 2 or 3. Who's the last slot? Emily Rodriguez, if she's back. Ooh, controversial.
Addie at the 2 is a stretch for me.
Taylor Strimlow.
That's where I would go first.
Taylor or Emily, right? If things work.
Yeah, Addie's not in my starting lineup. Not right now. Doesn't mean she can't work her butt off to get there, but she's not in my starting lineup.
All right. David liked the whiteboard segment as well. And Pierre says, Corey, stop letting Cash do chalk talk because ESPN may hire her for SportsCenter. Stuart says, was the zone used to conserve energy?
Well, maybe. You could do that. Or it could foul trouble. There's a few different ways you use zone. I just feel like, here's my opinion on zone. Don't use zone unless you absolutely have to, which means you can't guard the other team. This is my opinion. I'm not using zone because I feel like zone relaxes your players, and I don't like it. So unless we're in a situation where we can't guard nobody, there you go.
All right. Brandon says Cash and Corey have no filter. Where did the person that said we needed to be critical, where did they come from? I agree. Hawk in Vegas just finished watching, recorded the game. Wow. I just got to say Strimlow equals turnovers. Jan's offense needs a refresh. Too easy to shut us down if stop bigs or foul issues like tonight. Brian says, Corey, why are you so high on Emily Rodriguez? Why? I don't know that
she's the most athletic person we got.
She's the best athlete. I love the fact that she's by far their most assertive. Yes, she's got a turnover problem. The entire team has a turnover problem. Okay. Now, it's easy to get down on somebody when they've seen her first few games as a Hawkeye. Then she gets hurt. Then she gets suspended reportedly. Why wouldn't I be high on her? And they recruited her as a portal player who had been proven as a young prospect, as an underclassman at UCF. So yes.
Big 12 all freshman team.
Yes, Big 12 all freshman team. I'm high on her. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think it's huge that sounds like she's in good standing with the team now.
You know how that Lemansky was talking about how he feels like our team just passes? Maybe it wasn't Lemansky. Somebody was talking about how our team just passes and passes. We don't have that problem with Emily on the floor. She's going to go get a bucket.
True. Whether you like it or not.
So, double spin or not, she's going to go get a bucket.
Yeah, absolutely. Dick Melony, thank you for being a premium member. Appreciate you joining the fray. And folks, if you're interested in becoming a Discord member, you can do so by donating on PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. Those links are in the description of this show. $50 for an entire calendar year, $5 a month. So you sign up for 50, you'll get 12 months in the chat, access to conversations with the entire Hawkeye community here from the Hawkeye of the Storm, but also myself, Kachine, Kyle Spence. Keegan's in there as well if you got a wrestling question, and it's a fun time, and it keeps growing. So please consider joining the Discord server, and if you've already done so and haven't gotten an invite link, look for that in your inbox here in the coming hours. All right, the Hawkeye women defeating the Northwestern Wildcats 67-58. Big Grove's big play of the day was Journey Houston's offensive rebound, putback plus the foul with a minute 50 left in the third quarter. It was a back-and-back contest. Iowa had the lead at halftime. Northwestern storms back, but eventually Iowa pulls away in the fourth quarter, in part due to Journey Houston's spark off the bench. Hannah Stuelke struggled tonight. Did score 8 points. Ava Heiden was our player of the game with 23. Chit Chat Wright was in double figures with 12 and 7, along with 5 boards, but 5 turnovers. Taylor Stremlow, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 turnovers. And McCabe had 8 points. Deal had 4. Houston had 5. And let's see, no one else scored. You had Melany, Levine, and Hayes all log minutes without buckets. So the Hawkeyes improving to, what are they now on the year? I should have that in front of me, and I don't. What is Iowa's?
Something in 2. 14 or 15.
Say that one more time.
It's something in 2.
13. 13 and 2. 4-0 in the Big Ten, though. I mean, 4-0 in the Big Ten. They have not played Murderers Row.
No, they have not.
And numbers-wise, they play another bad team on the weekend. Now, I don't think – do you think Indiana's as bad as Northwestern, Rutgers, Penn State?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
They play some people pretty close.
Any thoughts on the Hoosiers and the Hawkeyes this coming weekend, this Sunday in Bloomington?
In this particular game, I don't really care about Indiana at all. I would be focusing on us and only us and getting us back to where we need to get to, and that's that. That's what I would focus on. I don't care about Indiana.
Okay. Folks.
If I was coaching staff, that's what I do.
Last question. We'll go to Jack. He says, Cash, what happened to Layla Hayes? She does not look like the same player as the beginning of the season.
I asked the same question earlier in this here segment. That's one person I need some production from. Like, out of everybody, I need some production on her.
Hawk in Liberty or Hawk in North Liberty is probably what that means. Hit the like button before you leave, folks. Please do that. Thumbs up before you get out of here. It's late. It's almost 1 a.m. on the East Coast. Kachine's got a child. She's got a job. She has a real life. I don't, but it's still late. No, I'm kidding. I try to have a life as well. Folks, thanks for being here. The Hawkeyes winning tonight in spite of an ugly performance in Evanston, 67-58. For Kachine Alexander, I'm Corey Brada from the Hawkeye of the Storm. I will talk to you tomorrow with more Hawkeye football recruiting coverage. Have a great night.
Go Hawks.